Hey y'all, what's going on? Antasia Shabria Armour. So welcome in where our travelers simply glow. And I'm gonna put on for my city. I'm so silly. Okay, but so I am going to do a few things very quick. So I want to focus on our floor to flourish. And that means I'm working on the sales floor to actually flourishing. Okay, so that entails quite a few different thoughts and ideas. So I'm going to make these kind of quick. All right. So we're going to go for run the. Okay. I guess we will. But so working at the underground station and the niche of authentic connection, it was very, very interesting. I'll tell you how I got that particular job. At that time, I believe I was like just getting ready to come back good from Toledo, from school, from college. And I was like 19 or something. And, I'm 35 now. So I was 19 at that particular point in time. And usually I was just going to like, you know what I mean? Just figure out what was going on until I was ready to kind of tackle things and figure out what I wanted to do next. And so I ran across one of my old friends at that point, and I was like, are you sure? Like, you really want me to come and work with you? Like, okay, well, fine, we'll see how this goes. So I learned building authentic rapport and niche understanding because Underground Station is solely around shoes, which deals with. Okay, and so yeah, as I was saying, we oftentimes kind of sort of have to figure out, how to get your niche because shoes are extremely unique and different. And I guess that's just a big part of the overall industry because when I think about each niche, you know what I mean, for the underground station, it's extremely different. And I always have felt as though I really like this job, but I can tell that I was very ill supported and it had some kind of adverse effects. And the guy who originally wanted to help do those particular things was almost like trying to put forth a really good effort, but it was almost like, a little late a day, so to speak, a little too late. But so it was definitely a point about connecting genuinely with specific audiences because finding your unique voice was not easy and letting your true self shine through your style was definitely a moment where you had to do just that. And how do you do those things even though around you the world is going crazy? I remember selling a pair of shoes to one of my cousins, who comes up and it's like, well, wow, how we go from that to totally not even really feeling as though we're speaking to one another? Or how do we go from having such a great understanding of a niche for this particular organization's overall aesthetic to completely feeling like I don't even know the last time I seen one? Or how can we go from being that caught up and nice to one another to totally feeling as though the experience overall was just riddled with transgressions? Like, how do you go into feeling as though this was something that I'm learning as a skill, and all the while I no longer held a position? I think I only was there for like some months at that particular point in time. So it's like, what in the world can I really learn in such a short amount of overall time? And that's a really good question because it's almost as though I feel like I should have learned more, or it's something else that I'm missing that was necessary as you grow and kind of figure out what's taking place within yourselves. And I'm not gonna say that's not something that's really taking place either, or that's going on, because I really just don't feel like that's an appropriate thought to have. You know what I mean? Like it does feel a little like, really, is this really all that there is? Why is this really all that we can see? Like, what's up with the point of that being as challenging as it is? And that I guess that's a big piece of finding what your style is. Because once you really lock in and figure out that your style is really a certain type of energy, when you see that those things are necessarily going unmanifested, you realize now that it's time to leave. And then you have those moments where the niche was so specific that you had to really lock in and create. And that means I had to really figure out what display is going where and what color theme is really hot this season based off what it is that we have in inventory that'll really emulate that type of energy that makes sure that the display says and is giving a particular thought that allows us to scale whatever particular quarter that we found ourselves in. That was challenging and hard. There was no book to go to pull from. There was no real live encouragement about whatever else that's where you can find these pieces at. Okay. It was a straight innate, what is it that you think is going to be here and it's going to be something that sells, period. Do that and do nothing else and think of nothing else. Okay. And that was not for everybody. And I had some times where there was another shoe store, and I want to say it was affiliated with that one as well. And I had ended up getting a really leather bag, and it was like a really bright royal blue, and it was so pretty. And the girl stopped me one day. She's like, "Oh, I know you. You know, you were over there. You the one with carry this bag." And it was like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? How are you?" And I just left it alone at that. And I believe I did remember seeing this young lady at our store before. And so, you really have to realize that you really do build rapport for or your connections because you really do. And that's why sometimes when the connections end they can sting, and that's also why people notice. They feel like you don't even really want to work, you know what I mean? Like people know that you don't even really feel the need to do those things, and so you're not even going to take the time out to build anything, not a rapport, not a overall aesthetic, you like, let alone a company or anything that you feel is something that really resonates well with yourself. Like you could care less about the company in general, and they know it. You know what I mean? They are so quick to sense it. And that's one of the things that I learned from working and particularly speaking, dealing with the particular niche of authentic connections is that that connection is the rapport. It is the energy that they sense and that they can feel. And that's something that I always admire and that I liked. Because sometimes, people will get upset and they'll feel like you're not really doing enough, but I feel as though I'm doing everything that's in my power, bro. And I'm still not paying no bills or I'm still not getting any further. You know what I mean? But you need to really kind of sort of check the people that surround you and level up and go to a place that's really going to help you build your dreams. Or if you are crushing your goals and you are presented with the break, take it happily. Accept some of those things with grace and kind of sort of figure out what I can do in the meantime that maybe you've been putting off or you've been wanting to do. Like for myself, as an example, when I had a break in a moment, I told myself if I did this one thing, which I didn't know was going to be something that's a particular day, that if okay, well, since I did those things, then I'll reward myself by doing this. And it just so happened that everything fell in alignment in a particular way. And that's something that is a positive. That's something that is really considered something that someone or a person looks forward to. So this is where our retail wrong stops. This is where we go from working the sales floor to flourishing into figuring out what our clients like, what our YouTube audience members prefer. So if you like this video, I want you to leave a heart. You know how ladies, okay? Leave a heart as long as you've chosen to really feel as though something about it resonated with you and you watched it to the very end. Leave a heart. If it's something that you thought was cool, leave a thumbs up as well. That lets me know that you like it. And just like the video and subscribe to our channel. If you are new and you have stayed until the end and you like the video per se, this particular podcast series, then I encourage you on to make sure you do like and subscribe to our channel and like the video as well. And if you are returning, what's up, y'all? What's going on? Hope y'all been glowing. Hope y'all radiance been out here making moves. All right, y'all. Until next time, I will see y'all again from Floor to Flourish. doing that retail run out here on these streets and these floors out here, making these moves, so I can come back and make sure that the things that we wish to accomplish are manifested in a timely manner. Um, so I will talk to you all again soon.